Hello and welcome to Sports Star Extras. I'm an Acharya here to review day 5 of what unarguably has been a frustratingly long test match for both teams and for those of us watching it, courtesy bad light and in-season inclement weather. We have Ashwin Achal joining us from Bangalore. Good evening, Ashwin.
Hi, Ayan. Yeah, pretty dull match. Pretty dull match.
Right.
Not much to discuss here, apart from the fact that a lot of play was lost due to bad light. Some of it you could say was unnecessary.
Hmm.
I mean, especially given the situation, conducting this test series in extraordinary circumstances, you pulled out all the stops to organize some cricket in a bio bubble and during these really crazy COVID times. And
Yeah.
bad light is something that you can overcome. I mean, I'm sure the
Correct.
players, both sets of players, were keen to carry on at some stage. So something that the ICC needs to look at. Losing
Correct.
play needlessly doesn't benefit anyone. The focus should be to keep the players on the field as much as possible. And the opposite seems to be happening now, something that the
Right.
ICC must
Right.
address.
Now, we were really hard pressed to look at any positives as far as this test match is concerned. But if you are an over the top optimist, you would imagine that England getting some batting time was a positive for them. They can't lose the series anymore after this game was washed out. Pakistan, of course, still has a chance of drawing levels. So, both teams, how do you reckon this will play out for their respective playing 11s? Do you think, with nothing to go by, considering this test wasn't really played out as well as they would have liked it, would retain the 11 going into the third game, or do you see an Archer coming back for England and a Shadab Khan in the 11 for Pakistan?
I would go in with the same 11 for both teams because, like you
Hmm.
said, there's not much to go by here. I mean, what
Yeah,
performances and what
correct.
failures can you really consider? Yeah,
Yeah,
sure, Fawad Alam didn't
yeah,
score, but he's making his comeback after so many
11
11
years.
years.
Yeah,
So you can't, judge him based
yeah,
on one innings,
correct.
not even two
Yes.
innings, just one innings.
Yeah, not
But
even
I would
right.
say that does not mean that Pakistan doesn't have any problems. The age-old problem of
Absolutely.
batting failure still remains, even in this match. Apart from Rizwan and Abid Ali, I don't think anybody else looked too convincing.
Yeah,
The likes of Babar Azam, Rizwan, Shan Masood, Azhar Ali, they have to come good. I mean, there is no other way around it. If they want to win the match, at least two of them have to put their hand up and get into three figures.
yeah,
If everybody gets out in the 50s and 60s and doesn't convert, there is no way a team can win a test match with the 50s and
right.
60s. You need big scores, and you need big scores consistently from one or two players in every inning. So that is something that Pakistan will have to improve.
Right, right. Yeah, and as far as England goes, I think they would be keen on ensuring that that top order comes good. I think to that end, this was some good, batting practice for England's top three. Although they did lose a few wickets, so I guess the series began as a contest between Pakistan's bowling and England's batting, and it will remain so when the third test gets underway, of course. Now, before we wrap up, a quick recap on what Wasim Akram had said in his interview with Sky Sports. Uh, he reckons that England should reciprocate Pakistan's gesture by touring the country in 2022. So, and they are scheduled to play ODIs and Test matches, which are likely to happen in the UAE. That's where Pakistan have been playing most of their home matches of late. Although international cricket is slowly and steadily returning to the subcontinent nation. So what do you make of Wasim's statement? Do you think England should, considering Pakistan and before that the West Indies have sort of saved England the blushes as far as the finances are concerned?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to touring any nation, I don't think there is any idea of doing favors. It all
Hmm.
comes down to the safety, and if you
Yeah,
can, guarantee the safety of players.
right.
Yes, definitely, international cricket is slowly making its way back to Pakistan. But I think when the time is right, the ECB will have their own, concerns and security checks and all the
Yeah.
other background, checks and balances that they will have to make sure that
Yeah.
their players will be safe. So
Right.
it's not as easy as saying, thanks for coming here and helping us out. We'll come back.
Yeah.
Pakistan, traveling to Pakistan, though much safer now than say 5 to 6 years back, it
Right.
still poses some risk factor. And if
Yeah.
the ECB or any other board can clear those doubts and feel satisfied that the players are safe, then I'm sure there's no reason not to tour Pakistan.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, Ashwin. That would be all from our side. Really, unfortunately, we haven't had much cricket. Let's hope the third test brings us more action, and the weather gods show some mercy. Before we wrap up, the third test match gets underway at the same venue, Aegis Bowl in Southampton, from August 21st. We'll be back with our coverage. Yeah. Until then, this is Ayan Acharya and Ashwin Achal signing off for Sports Star Live. Thank you so much for watching us.